Ladies and gentlemen, Abdullah here from Freedom for All. This video is about forgiveness. To me, it is the most important thing in life to embrace. I believe the more we forgive, the more peaceful life becomes. Hopefully, with the explanation, I would be able to explain this fully. Forgiveness is the intention of complete forgetfulness of pain, anger, frustration, and resentment towards something or someone. Some people may say, I forgive, but I don't forget. But that is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is the total forgetfulness. If the unpleasantness towards something or someone we labeled to be bad affects us, then it is not forgiveness. Neville Goddard hence said, so the greatest talent, the greatest challenge to overcome is the art of forgiveness. Forgiveness is the life of imagination. The art of living is the art of forgiving. By forgiveness, I do not mean a verbal agreement, leaving the memory of what was forgiven. To completely forgive, I must completely forget the event. No matter what was said, if you forgive me, you can't even remember what I did or said. So, forgiveness is not exactly about removing pain, anger, frustration, and resentment from memory. Those things can still exist in your mind. But if those exist in your mind, how do you even forget? I would tell you how. You just intend not to remember those. This intention to not to remember those is the act of forgiveness. So, unpleasant things of the past can exist in mind, but you set the intention of not to remember them. That's forgiveness. Neville once said, only willing to see what you want to see if you persuade yourself that you are now what you want to be. You have forgotten what you were before. That's forgiveness. I think this particular quote of Neville pretty much explains what it means to forgive. Only willing to see what you want to see. No matter what your ego or the reasoning mind or the senses are telling you, if you are convinced or if you intend to persuade yourself that everything is okay and you are where you are exactly supposed to be, then you are actually practicing forgiveness by being forgetful in your human nature. I tried to explain here what forgiveness should be like in the journey of conscious manifestation. But in deeper meaning, forgiveness ultimately leads to a fascinating self-recognition, and that is, there is nobody to forgive or to be forgiven. This may sound a bit complicated, but I will try to explain this. Forgiveness leads to a realization that there is no separate self to forgive or to be forgiven. This realization arises from the deeper understanding that all beings are interconnected and that the perceived divisions between self and others are illusory. When we see through this illusion, the need for forgiveness naturally dissolves. There is no one to forgive and no one to be forgiven. The apparent offense and the perceived offender are both seen as part of the same undivided reality. Everything and everyone is one in the light of awareness. So I think remembrance of infinite consciousness or infinite awareness helps us living in the present moment. And by being in the present moment, we can begin to see that what we take with our mind is nothing but illusion of separation. Understanding this way naturally leads to peace, acceptance, and of course, forgiveness. This is the understanding of forgiveness in non-duality. I think understanding this concept can help a lot in the journey of conscious manifestation. I will end with one beautiful quote of Rumi on forgiveness. Forgiveness is the fragrance that flowers give when they are crushed. If you never know forgiveness, you'll never know the blessings that God gives. Earlier today, in this video, I was quoting Neville where he said, "Forgiveness is the life of imagination." By imagination, Neville usually means God consciousness in action. Similarly, Rumi referred it here as the gateway to find the blessings of God. Just as a flower when crushed releases a sweet fragrance, forgiveness too can bring forth something beautiful from a difficult situation, from different circumstances of life. When we forgive someone, we are not condoning their actions, but rather choosing to release the unwanted emotions associated with the pain.